Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Two Guys with Four Eyes, a podcast that takes you back in time to discuss the movies of yesteryear. I'm Robert Hollister, and with me always has been Palmer.
Did you say plumber?
I said Palmer.
All right. Just making sure.
Yeah, Penn Palmer, right?
That's it.
Penn Palmer.
Plumber.
Yeah. All right, guys, come with us as we shake things up and leave them stirred with 1995's Goldeneye.
No, no, no. No more foreplay.
Woo! We did it.
Woo!
We made it, Ben.
Double digits.
We made it to episode 10.
Yep.
It only took us many months, but you know what? We're here, but no, it's cool, man. I'm glad that we made it to 10.
Yeah.
I didn't think we would, to be honest.
Yep. Well, we're here.
That's optimistic,
Yeah,
right?
right. And this is a good 10th episode movie, I think.
I think it is. It's probably our biggest to date.
Biggest blockbuster?
Yes,
Ah, okay.
it is. I think it's a blockbuster. Sure didn't seem like it. But we'll get into that later on when we talk about it. But you know what, Ben? Because it's a special episode, I want to start off with a joke.
Oh, here we go.
Are you ready, Ben?
I think.
Knock knock, Ben.
Who's there?
Smell mop.
Smell mop who?
Ew.
Oh,
All right.
that's pretty good,
That's
man.
pretty good, right?
All right.
But you know
Serious
what?
news.
Serious news shit. All right. So we had a bunch of trailers come out recently.
Yep.
Um,
Speaking of shit,
speaking of shit, what do you want to start? Do you want to start with let's just go down the list, huh?
let's do it. We
Let's
got
go
a
down the list.
list.
We got a
Might as well
list.
go down it.
Let's go down it. Here we go, guys. So Ghost in the Shell came out this week. The trailer for that.
Yep.
What do you think?
I wish they would have cast an Asian.
Do you
I do.
really?
I feel
I
like,
mean, not really.
well, I don't know.
I
I don't know.
I'd have no problem with that. But
Yep.
yeah, that's
Uh,
all. You
that's it.
just
No,
jump right into that,
no,
huh?
no. Well, I really did. I mean, I remember all the controversy
Yeah.
about casting originally, and
Yeah, the whitewashing and such.
right.
Mhm.
But after seeing it, I mean, I'm not the biggest Scarlett Johansson fan though.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I didn't like Lucy. I'm not thrilled with her in the Avengers either.
I mean,
So,
yeah, she's okay. To me, she's nothing special.
yeah.
She is what she is. I mean, she's good. She's good in most of what she does, I think. But like, she's not someone I'm excited. Like, oh, ScarJo, I gotta go see that.
ScarJo.
Yeah, I mean, she's up there with I don't know, any other actress, I suppose. I'm as about as excited. Like, could have been Nicole Kidman. I've been like, oh, whatever.
She's so old.
She's so old. Why is she in Ghost in the Shell? But
But no, it looks pretty cool. And I mentioned I haven't seen it in years, and you just rewatched it,
yeah,
so I didn't know how close it was to the anime.
right. I mean, as far as I can tell, having just watched the first movie of the series, there's only a few scenes in the trailer that I recognized. Yeah, most notably the scene where she jumps from the top of the building,
Yeah.
which I think everyone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's if you've never seen Ghost in the Shell, you know that scene.
Yeah.
There's also the scene from the opening of the movie where it's like the opening credit scene where the body's like being built, the
Sure.
cyborg
Yeah.
body, and then it raises up and like the white crystals or whatever come flaking off of it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, having watched that, it's very reminiscent of Westworld.
Westworld.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very
So
much.
it's kind of cool. Um, yeah. No, I thought it was pretty good. Or it looks exciting.
It looks like it'll be a fun romp.
Yes, it does. Now what this trailer does is it kind of keeps with this whole thing that they've been doing recently with putting like pop music in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because they got the Depeche Mode Enjoy the Silence
Right.
in the trailer, which I mean I love that song. Not a big fan of this remix or whatever, but it's just one of those things that they keep on keeping
Yeah.
with. So I guess it works, right? We also now straight down the barrel on this one. So we also got the trailer, the first look at the Beauty and the Beast from Disney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we gotta talk. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about it.
Sure.
It looks like a straight scene for scene reenactment, adaptation. What am I saying here?
Ad
Words.
adaptation.
Adaption. That's a word. But yeah, it looks
Yeah.
scene for scene from the cartoon.
Yeah.
That came out
Yeah.
almost 25 years ago, I think.
Yeah. I'm sure kids will be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I did see, I had seen the Jungle Book remake
Which one?
the Jungle Book remake that came out earlier this year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Which was pretty much a shot for shot of the animation.
Right.
And one of the biggest gripes I had with that was the lack of music.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
it's Disney, and if it's looking just like the cartoon movie,
Yeah.
you want,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. If
Like
they,
if Candlestick starts singing "Be Our Guest," you know what?
uh,
That'll be kind of cool.
it would be cool, right? And the thing is, like, I feel that there's possibly someone there in the studios that's saying, "Well, we can't have song and dance in these live action movies. That's just too silly.
Yep.
We draw the line at humanoid candlesticks and teapots and like stuff like that,
Yeah.
and
You don't
talking
you don't
animals."
want it to be silly.
Yeah, so yeah. What the boy raised by talking wolves? That's fine, but they can't be singing about
Yeah.
it. So I hope they have the singing in it. However, the cast is looking pretty great.
Yeah.
We got Kevin Kline.
Right.
He's in it with Emma Watson. And then as far as like voice actors, we have Ewan McGregor, Stanley Tucci, uh, Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
All tops. What doesn't look tops though? Come on, that beast, his face.
Man, he
Ugh.
looked so CG.
Yeah,
Like, why not just put some makeup on and like some, I,
like the Ron Perlman version from like the early
yeah,
'90s, late '80s.
why not?
Yeah,
You can
why not?
touch it up with CG.
I don't think Ron Perlman even had to put makeup on to be Beast. Now this trailer came out earlier this week, and I had seen it floating around. Didn't seem very interested in it. And you hadn't even heard about it until
Right.
I pointed out to you, which is the Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
Yep.
Now it looks like a young adult like novel come to life, like Divergent or
Yeah.
City of Bones or Maze Runner or
It's
I don't
very
know,
it
whatever.
was very Maze Runner. Like
Yeah.
the
Or
just
what
that
was
shitty sci-fi.
or I
I
guess
mean, this looks better than most of those shitty sci-fis.
right. But I suppose it looks probably about as good as like Ender's Game looked when that came out.
Oh man, I was
Which
really disappointed in that.
I didn't. You saw that?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Harrison Ford was in it. I had to see it.
Fair enough.
Yep.
But
It was pretty terrible though.
but what did you think about this? What do you think about this trailer though?
Like I said, it looks cool. Wasn't it like one of the guys that did like Fifth Element
Yeah,
or
Luc Besson.
yeah, yeah.
He was the director and writer of Fifth Element. He did Lucy
Yeah.
actually, and Leon the Professional.
Speaking of ScarJo,
Yeah, so he's got a good track record with those things.
yeah, it looks pretty cool. Other than the fact that it looked like Maze Runner.
Yeah,
So
Maze Runner in space.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that Beatles song playing over the trailer, man, it killed it for me.
yeah.
Put some Daft Punk or like some
Blue suede,
yeah,
some blue suede.
some
Yeah, sometimes I don't like it when when these trailers kind of contrast the the feel or whatever of the trailer by throwing in kind of downbeat or upbeat music.
right.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Um, it's like a trailer we never really talked about was the new Resident Evil trailer that came out
Oh
like
my God.
a while ago. That had the like Guns N' Roses song in it, Paradise City.
Right.
It just didn't work, you
Yeah.
know. Uh,
Well, it's a Resident Evil movie too,
well,
so
I mean, yeah, I mean, it didn't work on many levels, but I think also having that song in there just wasn't really cutting it for me. And that's a good song. Bad movie, I guess. See, contrasting. Now we got a little snippet of some more snippets of Kong,
Yep.
Skull Island, primarily Kong himself.
Which they're doing the thing we hate.
Yep. They're doing this like it was I think four mini teasers in 4 days.
Teasers of teasers.
Yeah. I mean one was 14 seconds, another one was 8.
And all they are is little clips of him being King Kong.
Yeah. Well, there's the one I didn't show you, which maybe you didn't see either. But it was an overhead shot of the characters like walking through the wastelands of Skull Island, I suppose,
Right.
and they're very small, like very miniature, and then around them is the skeletons of fallen gorillas,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty cool, and it shows like the size of how big these things
Yeah, you
are,
get
and
the scale.
yeah, it's fucking huge. He looks good though, man. I don't know
Well,
if you can
I would
tell.
hope so.
I
I
mean,
mean, remember the one with Jack Black in like
yeah,
'08, whatever year that was?
yeah,
I felt like it looked good then. I haven't seen that movie since then,
uh
so I
huh.
can't confirm that.
I
But
I thought he looked great.
yeah, I thought that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
The movie was shit.
I think that might be creeping up on a release date. I might have to look into that, and that might
Yeah.
be something we could pull out and do. There's one other last trailer I want to talk about, and you don't want to talk about it at all. And I honestly don't really, whatever. But this week marks the 15th anniversary of the release of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Woo! You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what? I'm a what? So
Ah, damn
yeah.
it.
So Friday we have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them coming out. Um,
Oh boy.
yeah, it, it looks fairly exciting.
Whatever, man.
I mean, it looks all right. I mean, it's not different. I mean, Harry Potter was never like. I watched all the Harry Potters in theaters because I went with friends. You know what?
Sure, man.
I did.
Yeah, sure.
I had fr-
You went with
I
friends.
had friends back then that liked
That
Harry Potter. So I might even go see this one in theaters. Who knows?
with your friends who like
Yeah,
Harry Potter.
I have friends that like Harry
All
Potter.
right, man. I believe you.
You
I
have friends that like Harry Potter too, I imagine.
I don't talk to anyone who likes Harry Potter.
They're not your friends anymore, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is coming out. It looks all right. It's got Colin Farrell in it. He looks like he's looking like a dickhead. It's got Ezra Miller. He looks like a dickhead always.
Yep.
So good for him. So yeah. Well, whatever. It's coming out, man. It looks all
It's
right.
coming out.
We'll just cut
I
that out.
can't stop it. It's coming out.
No, but you know what? That's enough for trailers. We got other news.
We got fucking serious
We
news.
got real news, and this is mostly comic book news,
Yeah, fuck trailers,
sort of.
man.
It's not really, but anyway. So other news, we got so Why the Last Man, which has been um struggling
Oh
for
yeah.
many years now
Yeah.
to get its
I
to get
remember
it
hearing about that shit like 7 years ago.
right when like
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf was gonna be playing
Yep.
York Brown, uh titular
And that's when I
character.
said, why? Why the last man, Shia LaBeouf?
I remember you said that.
Did I?
I didn't get it at the time.
Yeah, we were standing in line to see Harry Potter.
Yeah, so but Why the Last Man has gotten a showrunner finally. No release date, no anything about anything else, but
But there is a green light.
there's I mean, a green light, and the name is Michael Green. Like his name is just Michael Green, but he's gonna be a showrunner producer of this.
Nice.
He worked on Heroes, Smallville, and he wrote the screenplay for Green Lantern.
Ew.
But he's gonna be writing a pilot with series writer Brian K. Vaughan, and so that should be coming out at some point. I don't, at this point, I'm glad that Shia LaBeouf, he's not attached to it anymore, so that's a plus.
That is a plus.
I would like to see this come to life. I'd like to come around, not a movie, but like a show, like a television series.
Yeah, no
Uh,
reason not to.
yeah, put it on HBO. What even I guess suppose AMC could probably even do it, but because it wasn't very like graphic or
Yeah,
violent.
it wasn't crazy.
I mean, there's some boobies,
Oh,
but
we love the boobies.
yeah, there's some boobies. But I just want to see it.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't want a CGI monkey. I want a real.
it's
Is that what they're called?
like Ross's monkey from Friends.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, those are helper monkeys. So yeah, you could have one of those for real.
Yeah,
Get a cool guy. I was thinking, I would think. Did you ever watch Psych?
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember the main character James Rode?
Oh yeah. You
Yeah.
want him?
He'd be pretty good. His looks apart.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Whatever,
Whatever you
man.
say, man.
But no, I just want to see it come to life. I really like that series. Did you read any of it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
And it's only a 60 issue run, so it'd be
right,
cool like to see like a television show based on a comic book that has like a definitive start and
right.
which I guess is happening right
And
now
then
with
let him
Preacher.
just completely fuck it up.
Yeah, right. Just ruin it. Just never end it. Just like,
Well,
but then
time for season 7.
oh no. But then again, I guess the end of that series is kind of
We went to shit.
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Spoilers. There's a bunch of Yorks and a bunch of ampersands, and it just doesn't make any sense. Or maybe it did make sense and I stopped paying attention. But I feel like it's not easy to not pay attention when you're reading something. You can't zone out,
Yeah, you can.
can you?
Yeah,
When you're reading things?
I do it all the time, man. When I'm
Ooh.
reading traffic signs.
Warning
Yeah,
signs,
you know.
instructions on how to build things.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. All right, now we're about to talk about something foreign and unusual, Ben. You ready for
Oh
this?
shit.
Now, I don't know much about the DC universe,
Oh, the throwback.
but what I do know is that they're kicking ass apparently on television.
Apparently,
Apparently.
we say apparently because neither one of us watch any of these shows.
Between the four that are on CW, which is what we're going to be talking about right now, we have Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. Between those four, collectively, I have not watched a full episode of any of them.
But they're kicking ass.
They're kicking ass. I hear good things.
I don't.
You don't hear
I
anything.
just don't hear anything. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's me naysaying without actually hearing anything
I have actually heard good things
from your
from.
Harry Potter friends.
No, not from my Harry. Yes,
They're
actually,
also Arrow fans.
there. Yeah, Harrow Potter. Uh,
That was a stretch. All
yeah.
right. So anyway, what's
So,
going on with this?
oh, in December they're gonna be doing a 4 episode crossover called Invasion, which is gonna be taking from an '80s storyline called
Right.
Invasion, and it's gonna be sort of like I guess like a TV movie type thing, I
Sure.
suppose. It from what
They're shooting on good cameras and making it look good, right?
Yeah, what from
Cinematic, I
yeah,
guess.
what producer Mark Guggenheim says that they're going to be using like cutting edge prosthetics and like feature film quality effects to really get a good look for the show and really try to like amp up what Todd McFarlane had done with the artistic
Yeah.
look that he had had for the series. So having and this is and having not watched any of these like shows before, I think it's probably a good time to maybe jump into a little bit of that.
Right when that starts.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll jump in, check that out, sort of, maybe go back and like watch the series.
All right, well, here's my question
What's that?
relating to this. Do
Okay.
you think, since they're obviously putting more time and money into trying to make their television shows work, because obviously their movies aren't, do you think they're going to try and adapt any of that to the big screen?
No.
Because obviously they don't cast any of the same people for their movies,
Right.
which is ridiculous to me. But
Yeah, of course. No, I don't think so. I think they're gonna just leave it separate forever. I don't think they're ever gonna move it
right,
together. Like it just one's doing so well and one's doing so poorly.
yeah,
I'm not gonna say which, but so I feel like on one side it could potentially help the the one that's doing poorly,
yeah,
but then it could also hinder the one that's doing well.
yeah. That's true.
So rather than having like so rather than having like two mediocre franchises, like franchise worlds.
Yeah, let one do its thing and
Yeah,
let the other struggle
yeah.
forever. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean more or less. Whereas I think on the other hand, Marvel would benefit from merging the worlds of the television and
Yeah, yeah.
cinematic world.
Which
The
I feel
worlds.
like they're going to.
Well, they are going to, Ben. They're going to in September, in a way, sort of, when they come out with. This is a segue, by the way. Is it working?
It's working.
Is it working? Okay, good.
We're going.
So we got news that in September, Inhumans is going to be coming to IMAX.
Boom.
Boom. Not as a movie though, but as a 2 episode pilot,
Right.
more or less. And they're going to be releasing that worldwide for a 2 week run in IMAX. And the 2 episodes are going to be shot in like on IMAX cameras, and it's going to be produced by ABC Studios and Fox Studios, not Fox, Fox. I hope no,
Keep
ABC.
Fox away.
No, no, the thought.
The
Uh,
thought of Fox interrupting.
no. But it's gonna be produced by ABC Studios and Marvel Studios, and they're gonna be putting it out there. And then the show itself will be airing in fall as a
Right.
weekly show. And it's gonna be following Black Bolt and Medusa, and all that good stuff, all the
The
humans.
Inhumans.
Right. And this is good. This is good news, I think,
Yeah.
because we had originally. I mean, Inhumans was gonna be a movie. It was gonna be a feature film, but then they took it off the slate and they replaced it with Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
And then also, they have Inhumans on Agents of Shield, so it kind of works into like the more TV show stuff anyway.
Right.
And then also something I'd read or heard was that Inhumans was really getting pushed out there by the former uh, like head of Marvel Studios. I can't think of his name,
Right.
but he's since been replaced with Kevin Feige,
Sure.
who then he was the one that just cut Inhumans out because he
What a
felt.
dickhead.
Yeah, well, because I guess the thing was, I think they felt that it was the Marvel TV shows like Agents of Shield and stuff were trying to dictate what was going to be going on the screens, and they wanted to leave it a little more separate,
Yeah.
which I guess maybe they are keeping it separate.
Who knows?
But they should bring it a little bit together, I suppose. Maybe not the TV shows, but definitely the Netflix shows.
Oh yeah.
I definitely want to see those guys.
Yeah. No reason not to.
Yeah, I want to see Defenders. Once they come together, I mean, assuming it's good, which I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them, in the MCU at some point. By the way, a little thing, because I started reading Inhumans this week. Uh, you know Black Bolt? You know what his full name is?
I don't know.
Black Blackagen Boltagon.
Wow.
Yep. So that's a little something for you.
Good to know.
Get to know. You want to get into it?
Are we getting into it?
You want to get into the movies? The
Dude,
movie? Do you want to get into it?
let's let's get into it.
All right. So
Enough fucking around.
yeah,
Let's get into
I
it.
know enough of this snooze talk. Am I right? So this week we watched Goldeneye.
Goldeneye.
Yeah, Goldeneye, man. What do you
I love James Bonds, man.
do you?
I love James Bonds. I do.
Yeah, you love the James Bonds?
All the Bonds.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me about
I
this
love
one.
Barry Bonds. I love James Bonds.
Tell me about your history with Goldeneye.
My history of Goldeneye.
Tell me when you first got to know Goldeneye.
Back in 1995 when I was a wee lad.
Yes.
I did see this movie in theater.
Are you speaking with an Irish accent
Should I?
because Pierce Brosnan is an accent, or because Pierce Brosnan is Irish?
He's an accent.
Because he's Irish?
What?
Yeah.
He's not Irish.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Dude,
I'm not.
wow.
Irish as a leprechaun, my friend.
Good to know.
Yep. So tell me about your history of Goldeneye. I'm interested.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier a little bit briefly
Mm-hmm.
off the podcast
Right.
that yeah, I remember the video games.
Or was it on the podcast?
Oh my god.
Secret podcast.
Secret podcast. Yeah, I remember the video game a lot more than the movie. Definitely spent a shitload of time playing it,
Yeah.
and you know, at the time, Nintendo 64 was huge.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing it, and this game just rocked my fucking world, man. I won an N64 by playing this game. I went to a Toys R Us competition,
Uh-huh.
and I got second place.
Oh,
I
okay.
got an N64 with 2 controllers.
Oh, that's cool. See, I was thinking maybe you're gonna say it was some kind of like underground like type thing, or you were over at little Billy's house and you were like racing for pinks, more or
Uh,
less.
if I beat your ass in Goldeneye, I'm walking away with this N64.
Yeah, it is his birthday.
Yeah. No, I wasn't that much of a dickhead. Oh, I was. At Toys R Us, I was talking shit the whole time, too.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Yeah.
You're a little. What? You were like 11?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. It came out in 95. No, the game came out in 97.
Yeah.
You were like 13, dude.
Ooh, I was too old to be playing that shit. That's why I had an unfair
You
advantage.
probably won against like some 10-year-old kid.
I won against a lot of kids. Whoop that ass.
How many kids were there?
There's a lot of people. I don't remember, but
This is nothing about the movie.
I know. I'm just letting you know. I remember more about the game, and it was funny watching the movie as
Yeah.
we were going through because the game did really well in replicating scenes,
Right.
and so it was kind of like weird flashbacks of me killing people as we're watching the movie.
Yeah, like PTSD.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I was like, God.
Would you have felt more? I saw you clutching for a Phantom remote at
Yeah,
some points
yeah.
during the fight
Yeah, I
scenes.
was like, I need the body armor. I know it's around this corner.
It's hard. It's a hard watch for you. I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll make sure not to do that again. But tell me about what's the story of Goldeneye?
Jesus Christ. It's the most ridiculous, like, dude, all right, I'm gonna try and just throw this out there.
Yeah. Okay. Make it real easy.
So, yeah, pretty much you get the opening, you got your both your 007s, 006 and 7.
Right.
Did I say 007s?
You said-
00
no,
agents.
You said double O's.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think so. Right.
Yeah, well, I did now.
Yeah.
The magical edit. Um, so they're doing something in Russia. They're trying to get the Goldeneye. Or are they?
No, they're not.
They're trying to just blow this place up for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they probably explain it. I don't know.
No, they don't.
Yeah, well. So there's, 006 quote unquote dies.
I think they're trying to blow up
The dam
they're trying to blow up those canisters, right?
that are in the dam. I don't know why,
That's not-
man.
Okay, they're there.
It's just an action scene. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. It has those. Man, is there action? Now wait a minute. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, we'll get to it later. Okay, go on.
All right, so yeah, 006 dies
Yeah.
in the beginning. James Bond escapes
Mm-hmm.
narrowly.
Unscathed.
Yep. And 9 years later, you're fast forward. James Bond is ripping the streets in his fucking Aston Martin, and he's got this random girl with him.
Yep.
He ends up racing some chick who apparently he was watching. This chick ends up working with the Russians to get the Goldeneye, which is a weapon.
Yeah, it's the Goldeneye. Yeah, it sets off like an like a sort of like EMP that,
that blows things up too.
yeah,
Like,
it's really weird.
they
Uh,
don't ever actually even explain what
mm,
it's supposed to
yeah,
do.
like they started to, but all they got to was EMP.
Yep.
The end.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've seen EMPs, man.
Yeah, I've seen them in other movies.
Yeah,
They don't do that.
they don't
They don't.
blow things up.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
she's working with Russians. They're pretty much people steal this Goldeneye, the MP thing,
yep.
and there's a general, Mishkin, right?
I don't general. We'll just call him general. He's
Yeah.
like the only general,
Yeah.
Russian general. So
And so
General Vodka.
he wants to try and start a war with it, I think.
He wants to get money with it.
Well, that's all right. So,
Well, he dies.
yeah, so don't ask me about the plot of this movie because, folks, the plot doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, you got it right so far, right? Is that it?
Right. Well, I mean, that's close enough.
That's
I
close
mean,
enough. But then
blah blah.
it turns out that
006 isn't dead.
ooh, surprise,
Yeah.
006 isn't dead, and he is trying to use the Goldeneye to wipe the bank's information after he hacks in
Yep.
to withdraw the money.
Yep. So
Right?
yeah, he just wants a bunch of money,
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's it? That's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the other guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what he
So
was trying to do.
so
The the Secretary of Space.
yeah, Secretary of Space. So this movie's so fucking crazy, and there's so I feel like they had a very vast idea that they wanted to
Yeah.
portray,
Hmm.
and once they started filming, they were like, this line of dialogue is just going nowhere, so let's just cut to the next scene.
Right.
And because there's characters that don't need to be in this movie, there's entire
There's tons of
yeah,
characters.
and entire segments of the movie that is just people in a board meeting talking,
For
and
for what?
none of it amounts to anything.
Yeah. Like when General when Russian General first steals the Goldeneye and blows up the space center, or whatever it's called,
Right, yeah. The
uh,
secret
the
space.
Space Weapons Center.
Yep, that's actually what it's called.
Yeah, and when he blows it up after stealing the Goldeneye, he goes to like a boardroom and meets with other heads of Russia stuff, and basically says, what it seems to me is like he's saying like I failed you guys and I resign. You know, the Goldeneye was stolen by Serbian separatists, blah blah blah. And the main guy at the table is he says, "Well, two people are missing from your team, so could it possibly be them?" And he's like, "I'll go figure that out."
He's yeah,
Like what? So he just steals the golden eye. He's like, "I quit,"
yeah,
and he just leaves. I don't
because
know.
he thinks it's an easy out. Blame
Yeah,
it on the Serbians.
yeah, sure, because they're a thing at the time. Uh, yeah, man. The story though, it's very all over the place.
It's so all over, and there's not much that there's a lot of talking, but none of it really amounts to anything. There's not a lot of explanation.
Right.
You realize Trevelyan's plan, who's 006,
Hmm.
at the very end of the fucking movie.
Right. When you realize that he comes like because I mean if you're watching this movie without having read the credits at the beginning and knowing who Sean Bean is,
Yeah,
he gets killed at the beginning.
yeah.
So you're if you don't, which I mean, who no one's gonna know who Sean Bean is. That's a casual movie watcher,
He'd probably already died in like 15 different movies.
probably. But like he dies at the beginning. He comes back like way later.
The very end,
Yeah,
like, part of the movie.
yeah,
And he just walks out of the shadows, and you're just supposed to immediately recognize him.
yeah. And then he lays down his whole plan there, and then he even like goes into his plan further later on.
Oh,
And
God, that's part of my can cracking.
we'll get
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get there.
But
So, all right, tell
but
me some good things about this movie.
okay, well the stunts.
Great stunts
Definitely the
and
stunts.
fight scenes, man.
The fight scenes, yeah, but the stunts, man, we had some real like uh um what is it? Like iconic stunt scenes from this movie. The jump off the dam at the beginning of the middle
Right.
of the film. Like a really it was voted like one of the best like stunt scenes, like of all time.
Yeah. It
By
was badass.
like IGN, I think.
It's a
And
gigantic fucking dam, dude.
yeah,
That was a big ass dam.
it was dude, it was huge.
And this guy just bungee jumps off.
Yeah, he just jumps off, man. He can only do one jump at a time because the cables can only take one pull. Like then they had to replace the cables again. So they're
That's terrifying.
yeah. So they're yeah
How'd they
right.
find that out?
Uh,
The previous stuntman.
do you know how they found out? Do you remember? Do you remember in Castaway when he was testing the ropes by throwing that log off?
Right.
That's how they found out.
They just
They
threw a
tested it by
ah.
throwing.
Well, I'm sure he's glad they did that.
Yeah, glad.
Whatever his name is, that kind of looks like Pierce Brosnan.
I forget his name. I knew it because I watched a behind the scenes thing on it. Um, but yeah, that scene's great. And then the or that stunt. We got that stunt. Then we had the motorcycle jump to the airplane stunt, which is also really cool.
That was really cool.
That was really cool. That was really cool. That was really cool.
The
Um,
more you say it, the more it means.
yeah. So the stunts are great. Um, Overall, like the acting, I think was good, and like the cast. The cast was
Yeah,
wonderful.
Cast was pretty good.
Pierce,
I didn't feel like anyone was weak.
no, no. Pierce Brosnan, he brought it pretty good.
He's a good Bond.
He's a good Bond. Now I think later on he deteriorates,
Oh, and the Die Another Day and whatever his other movies
just in
were.
life in general. No, no, yeah, and Tomorrow Never Ends and like Die Another Day and whatever. The world is not enough.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, he did good. And then yeah, you said that like the fight scenes.
Yeah, the end fight scene with him and Sean Bean, man, that
Yeah,
was a really good fight scene actually.
yeah, no,
I was impressed.
yeah, it was actually like having just watched Spectre. I can say that I enjoyed those fight scenes more than I did really any fight scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
For one little thing, and it's not even a little thing; it's a big thing. Is when you get punched a bunch of times in the face, what happens usually?
You
What
get bloody.
you get bloody, right?
Yeah.
What happens in Spectre?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. Fucking Batista kicks a goddamn table into a woman's face. Nothing. No blood, not a speck. But
Not
anyways,
a Spectre.
that's that'll wrap it up for this week, guys.
Yeah.
See you next time. No, but those are the. What do you like? What do you like? What do you like, man?
I'll tell you what I didn't like.
What's okay? We're going. You don't like games?
Since we're already comparing to Spectre
Okay.
and just
Well, Spectre's not really that good to compare to.
right. Well, I'm just saying Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and compare this right now. What the fuck is James Bond wearing in Goldeneye, dude?
You you know he's wearing clothes of the time, man.
He's wearing goofy ties
That's what
with his suits.
that's what they wore.
No. Just
Yes.
wear a plain black tie or a plain red tie.
You go.
Why you gotta wear a weird tie with like anchors on it?
That's what they wore, man. You
I don't know.
look at what Daniel Craig wears. He doesn't wear.
Daniel Craig looks clean as fuck all the time, man.
He does, but I'm sure he has some kind of print on his tie. No, you're right though. But I mean,
Yeah, he
for
looked goofy for a Bond.
but for being '90s style though, it was pretty good '90s style. It could have been far
I felt
worse.
like his casual Bond was pretty nice. When he had like the tan coat on with the shirt unbuttoned, one button down.
Casual Bond is always bad Bond, dude. It's always the same. You realize like casual Bond has never changed, and
Yeah, yeah.
casual Bond always finds himself on a beach,
Every time with a lady, of course.
khakis,
Yeah.
li-
Khakis rolled up.
linen shirt.
Yep. Where does he get these beach clothes?
Dude, do you think he calls like MI6 and he's like, look, look, I got myself a honey.
I
I
got
need,
myself.
yeah, yeah, I got myself a
Got
honey.
myself a honey.
I need you to send my linens and also dresses for her too.
Yep. Yeah, because she's always dressed very nice on
Yeah.
the beach, even though it's some woman he just found.
Yeah, and you think MI6 is ever like, look, James, we're not paying for this shit anymore, man. We're going under. Like,
Yeah.
it's bad enough we got Q taking up all of our resources by making blown up pens for you to throw away everywhere.
Yep.
Oh man. But no, you had to like things about this.
I liked the car in it.
The tank scene.
Tank scene was iconic, actually.
Really slow and boring though, right?
Yeah, coming back to it now, but I remember at the time that scene was badass.
Yeah, it was such a big thing.
He's chasing someone in a goddamn tank
I mean,
for like 25 minutes of the movie.
right? And like I remember like that being like a big thing like in the trailers and like
Oh yeah.
if you watch like any do you remember like when DVD was like first starting to happen?
Oh yeah.
And
Of course I do.
yeah, it was like always like the same movies. Well, Goldeneye was one of those movies like DVD in your house,
Yep.
and it was like always like that scene of him like looking around like and straightening his tie.
Yeah, after he just blew up or ran through a wall or whatever.
Yeah, and he's just killing all those Russian police, by the way.
Oh, he just runs them all over, man. Yeah, I wrote down one of the two things I wrote down. I just said goofy tie. That
Oh,
was the first one.
that's okay. We can still talk about Goofy. That's
Yeah.
all you wrote down was Goofy tie.
I just talked about it.
I have like this book.
I know. I don't know. I don't know why you need to reference that much.
I don't, but it's good to talk about. Just
No,
in,
I wanted to mention during the tank scene how bad those police car like the drivers were.
oh
They
yeah.
just drove like
Oh yeah.
off the road into like the river,
Right.
like non. They would drive into each other, like. And I know every movie like if
Th-
you're being chased, the cops have to be shitty drivers.
Right.
But
We've all
this was
seen.
over the top, man.
Right. It was like almost like Blues Brothers like over the
Yeah,
top.
it really was.
Uh,
Yeah, there's 100 police cars and they all just run into each other constantly. He's in a tank. It's not that.
he's in a tank. Just give up.
Yeah,
Like
and they're constantly just shooting bullets at it.
right.
Like they know it's a tank
Right.
and they know bullets aren't gonna do anything.
Uh huh.
But whatever,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. We gotta talk about a couple more good things about this before we talk about the bad, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not ripping it.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
We're gonna.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're gonna.
What did you think about the ladies though?
The
I
ladies.
felt like they were subpar.
Well, Famke Jensen, man. Who
Yeah.
played Anatop?
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, man. She was
She was looking good,
looking good.
but
So,
Bond doesn't go with her, so
well, no, you're right.
doesn't
Well,
count.
he kind of, sort of. I mean, they kind of screw around a little bit.
Yeah, when she's trying to kill him with her legs,
Yeah.
and then he throws her ass on a hot rock, and then flips her over his shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Eh. Eh.
What do you feel? What do you think about all of his little one-liners?
Oh, they're terrible. Most of them.
And I know Bond is notorious for those little one-liners.
Actually, you know what? The one that you used at the beginning, the
Yeah,
four plays over or whatever the hell it was.
yeah.
That's,
No, 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 no more foreplay.
yeah, that was probably that was a good one-liner. I thought that was
Yeah,
fun.
and that's the scene I just mentioned when he just throws her over his shoulder
Right. Yeah.
and then he pulls a gun out of nowhere, which is cool.
He had the gun the whole time.
No, remember when they started making out, he threw it over to the side.
Oh yeah. Where'd he get the gun from? He was in the pool.
Dad, he just
Okay. Well,
goddamn James Bond.
pulling it out of himself. What the hell did he say, man? He said something real stupid. Well, obviously when they're tied up when he and Natalia, we didn't even go through these characters at all.
It doesn't
This
matter.
doesn't matter. We got
There's
Bond.
a billion characters in this
Yeah, there's
movie.
a billion characters, but there's this. They're important to mention, I
Yeah,
think.
sure.
Well,
Natalia is like the
we'll
chick
run
he's
through it.
trying to save the whole time.
Right. Okay, so we got Bond, obviously, Pierce Brosnan. We got Alec, played by Sean Bean. He's the bad guy in the end,
Yep,
006. Uh, Famke Jensen plays Anatop. She's like a Russian psychopath.
pretty
It's
much, yeah.
weird, man. We got this guy Boris, who is played by Alan Cumming.
Yep,
Natalia, I couldn't even pronounce her name. Who played her, so I didn't even bother writing it
yep.
down.
She worked with Boris.
Right. She worked with Boris. She was like they're like buds, but Boris went one way, she went the other way. Um, we have Q and M, who played by M played Judi Dench, which I want to mention that this was the first time that M was portrayed by a woman
Yeah,
in the history of Bond, and she
and
carried on obviously throughout the Craig films as well
yep,
until her character was replaced. I guess was she killed or
yeah. She died
M? Yeah,
in
she died, and she was replaced with Rafe Fiennes.
yeah,
And then Q was played by Desmond Llewellyn, who had actually started the character of Q in 1964 with Goldfinger and
right.
carried on until 1999's. Uh,
So did he die in real life? Like what happened?
yeah, he died in '99.
Okay,
Yeah, he died in '99 after The World Was Not Enough. That was the last Bond movie he did.
yeah.
So there's that. And then
Because
on top of those characters, we also had minor characters Wade and Valentine, who were played by Joe Joe Don Baker, who we know from tons of shit, man. Robert Coltrane, he played Valentine, the Russian fella that he shot in the knee, that he met up with for seemingly no reason.
exactly,
Right,
that was another weird like 10 minutes of this movie that didn't need to happen.
right. But we know him from Hagrid
Yeah.
from Harry Potter.
Dude,
My beloved Harry
should
Potter.
bring that shit up one more time.
Right, but I want to run through those characters because we're going to talk about Natalia for a moment.
Yeah.
We'll talk about her because they fell in love, right?
Well, she fell in love with him.
Yeah.
Typical.
I don't. This
Yeah.
the Bond girl like instant love attraction thing.
It's part of it, man. It comes with the territory.
It's so weird though, right?
Oh, it feels forced every
It's
time.
so strange. Like it just like it's cringeworthy.
Yeah, every time, yeah.
Every time, like,
Even the Daniel Craig ones, man. Like
yeah.
the girl, she'll start off with an attitude, and he'll just say like three things, and then she's like, you know what? We should fuck.
And, like, sometimes I feel like if he's like forcing himself onto the women,
Little,
right?
he gets a
And
little
more
rapey.
and more times than not, especially in the Daniel Craig version
Yeah.
in the Daniel Craig ones, like they're with men, like they're married or
Well,
have.
that's his style, man.
Yeah, it's his MO, huh?
Yeah,
You think they talk about Bond like that? I guess they do, don't they?
they do.
He's known for that shit.
Exactly.
What an asshole. You think we're gonna get a real Bond? That's a real man,
Whoa.
real gentleman,
A gentleman.
gentleman Bond. I don't know. What else about this movie? Before we get into the bad stuff, I got some stuff I want to talk about the production of it.
Go for
If
it.
that's cool.
This is the time.
This is the time. Okay, cool. So this is the 17th Bond film, by the way.
17th.
17th.
That's a lot of bonds.
It is. It was actually supposed to be the 17th Bond film was supposed to come out in 1990, I believe. It was when it was started happening with when it was Timothy Dalton who
Right.
was still as Bond, but then MGM and United Artists Pictures had problems because they had with the people that actually owned the Bond films. So it was delayed a few years, and then by the time it went into production in '94, uh, Dalton was like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Right.
So they replaced him with Pierce Brosnan,
Yep.
who great job
Yeah.
as we mentioned earlier. Great,
Pierce was a good
good Bond
he
man.
was a good Bond.
He had a good Bond look. And actually, interesting thing was he was actually supposed to take over in '86,
Oh wow.
Pierce Brosnan, but then he had scheduling conflicts because he was doing Remington Steel at the time, which was essentially Bond, right?
Yeah.
Little things about this. Goldeneye. I mentioned this. I told you this earlier. Goldeneye actually came from uh, an operation during World War II. Operation. Did I tell you this? Maybe I
No.
didn't. Okay, I didn't. Operation Goldeneye. It was something during World War II in which Commander Ian Fleming he
Right.
worked because he was part of the British Naval Intelligence. It was an operation that he was a part of in which I don't know he had to overlook Spain for some reason
With an
during.
EMP explosive device.
Exactly. So that was an operation he was part of during the World War II. And then he went on to name an estate on Jamaica, Goldeneye, which is where they got the title for the film Goldeneye. And
Okay.
this is actually the first movie based on James Bond that's not based directly on the writings of Ian Fleming.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. Little tidbits about it.
Oh. Well, what
Yeah.
about the theme song
What about the theme song? The
written by
Tina,
Bono
written by Bono and The Edge,
and The Edge, but
performed by Tina Turner.
Tina Turner.
Oh man, that was
It wasn't a it wasn't the worst Bond opening song, that's for
no.
sure.
I think that last one, the one on Spectre by I couldn't even tell you who the fucking guy's name is.
Oh, Buble?
No,
No, it wasn't
it
Buble.
was someone sort of like him.
Yep. Because Adele did the one before that.
Yeah, she did the Skyfall one. Skyfall,
Is that it?
Skyfall.
Skyfall,
Yeah, yeah, it
Skyfall.
was on the radio and stuff, man. Don't you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Hold on. And then we had Chris Cornell. He did the song for Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Yep, I
Uh,
remember that one.
yeah. Sam Smith, whoever the fucking guy is, it's shitty song inspector, dude.
Yeah. Hey
And
Sam Smith, fuck you,
yeah, learn how to write Bond songs.
you piece of shit.
Didn't Jack White do the one for Quantum of Solace?
Yeah, well, I don't like to remember that movie at all. We already nitpicked this movie enough. I think
Okay.
it's time to get into our actual gripes of the movie, the things that really bothered us, and it leads us into a segment of the show, a segment that we like to call "Cracks the Can."
How many times have we done this? Cracks the can. Not 10.
Not 10, that's for sure. I have no idea.
All right. So I have a couple things here.
All right, I only have one major, so you go first if you got more than one.
Okay. All the romance shit. Uh, the friendly car chase, right?
In the beginning, yeah.
In the beginning. Fucking stupid. Like, like real dumb. One, it wasn't. Okay, so it's a car chase between James Bond and he has that lady with him that's trying to
She's a character you never see again.
yeah,
So
but she's just like trying to like get a read on him. Like she's sent to as like a guidance counselor, I guess, or what am I trying to say? What would that be in the real world? Not in high school. Uh, you know,
She's just yeah, I don't
whatever. She's just there to like analyze him, make sure that he's fit for whatever
right.
the fuck. And so she's there in the car with him, and this is when we meet on a top for the first time.
She's in a Ferrari.
Yeah, and they just start speeding around these like winding roads
Yep.
they're in France, I think.
Yep.
And it's just stupid. It's not like it's not to the point where it's like edge of your seat, like excitement.
Right.
It's just enough to like it's just enough. It's like, oh, they're racing.
Yeah.
The music is terrible. Uh
Well, I'll also say what's worse about this. So most Bond films do something like this type of thing, like as a open the movie action sequence
mhm,
just for action.
right.
But they already did that with the actual beginning of the movie.
Right. And
We already had our giant action scene of,
uh-huh.
all 006 dying, you had shit blowing up.
Right. Yeah, yeah, the movie starts off he jumps off the dam, fucking
Yeah,
ship blows up.
it's badass.
He's gotta take the motorcycle, jump off a cliff to catch an airplane.
Yep.
Awesome. Then we go into the theme song, which isn't bad by any means, like we
Yep.
just mentioned.
And then it just goes right to this car chase.
Right into this bullshit car chase.
Yeah.
Fuck that. And the music is so stupid. You mentioned the music when we are watching. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is this
This is
music?
very 90s music.
Yeah, it was very of its time. Yeah. The only point of it was to set up the character of Onatop,
Right.
which we then met in the next scene when they're at the casino.
Yeah.
So
Which
that whole thing, fuck it, stupid.
it
Oh,
was
and then it ends with him finally stopping the car because this lady he's with is like freaking out too much, and he pulls over the car and says, "You see, I have no problem listening to a woman in authority or whatever."
and
And
then
then
they just start making out.
then he cracks open a bottle of champagne.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
fuck that scene.
fuck it, fuck that scene. I'll drink to that.
My main one was it's the villain, man.
Which one?
Yeah, right.
Who what?
It was
Who?
006. It was
Okay.
Trevelyan.
Uh huh.
Alec Trevelyan.
Alec Trebek.
Sean Bean. I fucking couldn't stand that he had to just keep every time he would run into Bond, he had a gun pointing at him, and he'd be like, "And you know what else I'm gonna do? Here's the next part of my plan."
Right.
And it was just this and they ran into each other like 4 separate
Uh
times,
huh.
and he would just reveal more about what he's trying to do. It's like, all right, so you caught me in the last place, and we barely got away, me and my henchman. I see that you're here again, and I caught you again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm doing here? This is what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
And it just keeps happening over and over. It's like, just fucking shoot him.
Right. Yeah.
It's this thorn in your side, and you.
Yeah. And every time they cross paths, he makes a comment, oh, what an unpleasant surprise or whatever,
Right.
It's like,
And so, part of me is like, oh, maybe he's got a soft spot. He doesn't actually want to kill James,
sure.
but he does. He
Yeah.
100% wants to kill James Bond.
Right. Well, I mean, he should because unless he does, there's no one to stop him. Which I mean, could you I mean,
He's just the worst villain ever.
I mean, that ends the climax of the movie when when James finally got down to Cuba to where they were doing everything with the giant satellite dish and they
Right.
had that final fight. They had so many, like you pointed out, so many guards, so much security, so
Yeah.
much everything. And one James Bond got in there and just took it all down.
Yep.
Well, I guess Natalia helped too
Sure.
by hacking. Uh
90s hacking.
90s hacking, yeah.
It was painful to watch.
But yeah, just get rid of him. I mean, the most he did was put him in an exploding helicopter,
Which had the eject button right next to his fucking head.
which he smashed with his head. After why did he set off those?
I don't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's one of my gripes. Though, is he starts a helicopter with his head.
He sure does.
Yep, he does. Uh,
He just headbutts the console until the helicopter starts.
right. Um, after all the action,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
when they're on the train, right?
Yep.
And they find out like where they're gonna be going, which is to Cuba.
And he laser watches them out of the
Which
train.
I didn't believe you had the laser watch.
I
I thought it was
called it.
just in the game.
Called it. Laser watch.
Yeah. So, we have all the action on the train. I mean, we go right from the tank race
Yep.
into
The
the
train,
train,
which is blowing up.
which is crazy. And then, they find out where they're gonna be going. She hacks in.
Yep.
She hacks into the mainframe
Right.
through the firewire. And the fucking gets all the intel that she needs, man.
Oh, what was the hacking term? I'm in.
Oh yeah, I mean, you always
They
in.
they definitely use that in this movie, which is
Yeah,
great.
I'm in. Yeah. So stupid. I can't get to his password.
I'm in.
What is up with like these like? Because it was also like because Boris had those like little characters of himself too
Right.
that he used, which are very much like
His
what
little avatars,
yeah,
yeah.
which is very much like what Newman used
In Jurassic
in
Park, yeah.
Jurassic Park. Yeah. Uh uh
Hackers,
uh
man. Yeah,
uh
it's what
uh
they did in
uh.
the 90s.
Oh
So
man.
anyway, you're
Oh yeah.
you're leading
So
into
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. So what they should do is just leave that fucking train, go right to Cuba, and smash Alex's ass.
Yeah.
But what they do instead is they just chill.
They go to Cuba and then they chill on the beach
Yeah.
for like days.
Yeah, they have some romantic time.
Days.
Yeah.
How like what?
It's definitely a day because there's a night
Yeah, you
too.
see the sunset and then him on the beach again the next day
Yeah.
and he's thinking,
Yeah.
"Ugh. Oh, I'm so thoughtful."
And she comes up and she has this talk with him,
And she
like,
freaks out on
it's
him.
like, you think you're a big man with your guns and your killing? Well, that doesn't make you a hero, you know? And then it's like, okay, well, first off, you don't even know this fucking guy, so
You just met him.
why are you going into all this shit? And then yeah, then it cuts to the scene of them in bed where she rolls on top of him and she's like, on the train when he had the gun to my head and he was gonna kill me, and you said that I meant nothing. Did you mean it? Like, what?
Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah. And I wish he'd been like, yeah, because you didn't and you don't. Like, I mean, at this point, like, they don't have a relationship.
No.
Like, he's just, having a little fun while they're on a mission. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, the idea of her even coming with him was ridiculous. Can you disarm that weapon? No, but I could probably get a trained MI6 operative who could.
Yeah. Well, also, she didn't really help him disarm it at all because he kind of just blew the whole fucking building up.
Well, did he blow it up?
Someone did.
Because why did it blow up? It just blew up.
Yeah, so the,
Because
the end fight,
he put that bomb on the tank.
but then it got disarmed.
Right.
And that was it. They never touched back on it. And
Nope.
then right after his fight with Trevelyan,
Yeah.
he jumps on a helicopter and the whole fucking place blows up by itself.
All right. Well, you know what? That brings us to whether we do or don't on this one. This is a hard one, I think.
Yeah.
This is a
It
hard one.
it was all right, so the movie's 2 hours and 10 minutes long,
Right.
which okay, people, that
It's
doesn't sound like a long time, but
it's
for a 90s James Bond flick, it's a long fucking time.
it might as well have been 4 hours,
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Blaze it up.
Yeah, for 20 minutes.
No, so man, I would say due to the video game, and you might as well just play the game because it's the same story,
Right.
but you get to actually like play as James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
It even looks the same, so fuck it. I
Yeah.
say due to the video game,
Yeah.
Goldeneye.
I almost like you during the movie. Do you remember I mentioned like this game came out like I wonder if I can I think you can purchase it like on PlayStation. But I should have just done that. We should have just played through the game and then reviewed it then.
Right?
I would have rather done that. Cause yeah, I mean it's one of those movies that if you've seen it, don't go back.
Don't go back. Just remember it.
Just remember it for what it was, because I remember it much more fondly than it is.
Yeah, same here.
Fond, so fond. Uh, but if you're new to James Bond, then yeah, I mean you have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, if you've never seen it,
But then it's probably just about as like thrilling as all James Bond movies are,
well, it's
which
Bond, you know.
which aren't very
You
at
either
all.
you either like Bond or you don't, I think.
Yeah, I mean I like Bond.
Yeah.
He's cool. He's a cool guy.
He's
Uh,
chill.
and this being like the best of the Brosnan.
Yeah, this
Ugh.
is the best. Yeah, don't watch his other ones,
Yeah,
that's for
right.
sure.
But I'll give it a do because you just can't. You can't not.
All right. Well, for the first time in history, we're on a split decision there.
That's it, guys. Sorry.
One do, one don't.
That's it. All right, so guys,
10th episode.
that brings us to our next segment, which we affectionately call Two Dicks Picks. Dicks with an apostrophe.
So what's your pick?
My picks for this week. I'm gonna talk about some things I've been checking out, then talk about some things that I'm looking to try check out.
Sure.
Some things I've checked out. Mentioned it earlier that I watched The Ghost in the Shell from 94
Yeah,
or
the old
95.
anime.
Yeah, the old anime. I'd never seen it before, but with this movie coming out next year, I wanted to check it out. And also, like, with the trailer, I wanted to have a better grasp of, like, what I was actually looking at, which wasn't a lot that they took from it. It was decent. Like, the story's pretty cool. It's a cool story. And,
Right.
like, the first half of it was really good and, like, really exciting. And then it just kind of just just fucking falls down from there, man.
Right.
Gets real boring.
Like most animes.
Yeah. But no, it didn't even have like a real solid ending, I don't think, to it.
Yeah.
So maybe things were lost in translation, like we were mentioning, we talked about earlier, or maybe maybe people just have bad taste when it comes to, you know, I just sometimes I feel like when
They probably got the guy who wrote the finale for Lost, and they were like, you know what? Can you finish this movie for us?
he's like, yeah, sure, what, four toes, whatever.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, so I watched that. What I did watch this weekend though, this past weekend was I watched the new Star Trek movie, Star Trek Beyond.
Oh yeah,
I
I
went and
still
saw
haven't
that,
seen that yet.
dude.
The Fast and the Furious 7 director or
Yeah,
whatever?
Justin Lin.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember the first episode when we almost went to go see that in theaters,
Yeah.
but instead we just tried to talk about RoboCop?
Right.
We should have gone to see that in theaters.
Ah.
It was so good.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, definitely recommend it, dude. You gotta check it out. It's so good, and like really good pacing, really fun, really exciting.
Right.
Um, the story's like pretty solid, like real solid. The action's really solid. Um, like it's just a lot of fun. And then I mentioned earlier I started watching, or not started watching. I started reading the Uncanny Inhumans,
Right.
the newest run
Yeah.
on that, which started about a year ago, I think. So,
It's
which
still
is
going?
well, yes, yeah, still
Oh,
going.
okay.
So that's starting off to be pretty good. It's funny. Like I listened back to last week's episode when I talked about Marvel Unlimited, and I talked about it, but then I never actually talked about anything I'm reading on it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that now.
That's what you're reading.
I'm reading that, and I'm also been reading the new Moon Knight or the newest run of Moon Knight, which this is all new. It's not new because it's 6 months
Sure, yeah.
because that's how the delay is with it works. But I started reading those. I read the first two episodes on that. First two issues
Yeah.
on that. Really good,
Yeah?
really solid. The artwork's really great. The writing's really good. Um, and then I'm checking out a lot of stuff as well. Invincible Iron Man and stuff like that. But I also started the new Punisher. I sent you that little picture the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
day. The guy getting the thumbs in the eyes.
It's pretty brutal.
Dude, it's pretty nuts, dude, for being like, because back when they had like Marvel Max and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is like it says on it like it's for mature readers or whatever, but it's just under Marvel's brand still.
Yeah.
Super dark.
That's awesome though.
Yeah, and it's got artwork by classic Punisher artist, the late Steve Dillon, who we
Ah.
lost earlier this year.
Yeah.
Um, so that's really great. Like, really great artwork. It's like the way Punisher, it's the way he should look.
Yeah, that's where you're used to seeing them.
Yeah, it looks great, man, and it's a really fun read. The story so far, I'm only like an issue in, but seems really interesting. Introduced, I believe, a new character, called the Face.
Right.
Really interesting.
Cool.
Um, but then on top of that, I want to be checking out this week. There's a show that's been on Sci-Fi. It's like probably about like 6 episodes in, I think. It's called Channel Zero.
Right.
Have you heard anything about
I
this
have
yet?
not heard about that, no.
Okay, well the premise is like a string of there's someone investigating a string of murders from the 80s,
Right.
in which his twin brother was also killed in that string of murders, and it may or may not be connected to a child's television show from the 80s that just started to resurface again
Ah,
in
okay.
the modern day. So it's kind of like this weird twisted like
But it's a sci-fi show.
it's a sci-fi show. Like yeah, so it's
So
like
there's like some weird shit.
there's like sci-fi elements.
Sci I just oh man, I just 420'd out on you.
What?
It's just, so it's sci-fi. Cool, man.
What?
That's real cool.
Yeah, but no, but having like watched like the trailers or whatever, dude. What are you doing over there, man?
Sci-fi elements, man.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, I got
yeah,
you
there
there.
is. But having watched like the trailer or whatever for it, it looks pretty sweet. So I'm gonna check that out. And then also one more thing, I'm gonna start watching this week. It's only like 2 weeks in. Is the show Stand Against Evil,
Right.
which has John C. McGinley from
I thought you were about to say John Cena. I was
I
like, yes.
wish. No, John C. McGinley from you know him from Scrubs,
Yeah, yeah.
Dr. Cox and stuff. It seems to be sort of. I mean, I don't know much about it. All I know is that it's just like he's like an ex cop who's now facing off against like demons and stuff.
Right.
So it looks to be like, but he looks kind of like lowbrow. So it looks like it's gonna be like sort of like Ash versus Evil Dead,
Right,
or
yeah.
like Dale and Tucker
Okay, okay, yeah.
versus Evil. So kind of like that kind of thing. Everyday man fighting demons.
Right.
I love that kind of shit, dude.
Oh yeah, of course.
I think it's great when that shit happens.
Yeah. Yeah, my one pick. I ended up going and watching Raiders because you talked about it, the
Yeah.
Netflix documentary,
Hmm.
and it was really good,
Yeah.
like you said it was.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome. What'd you think about like the side by side comparisons?
That was cool, man. It was really cool. And those guys, man, I was just like,
That's right.
I want to be able to watch the whole film. I'm sure it's
We
around somewhere.
I'll look and see if I can find it, and
Yeah,
we'll sit down and watch
yeah.
it.
So yeah, I watched that, and that led me into the dark rabbit hole of Netflix documentaries.
Of course, we've all
And
been there.
yeah, and I saw the title Man vs. Snake, The Long and Twisted Tale of Nibbler.
Hmm.
And of course, I wanted to see what that was.
Uh, Immediately, I would think Futurama.
There are sci-fi elements.
Yeah.
So, I read the description and it didn't really say much, but I knew it was a video game documentary,
Hmm.
and I've actually watched a lot of those. I don't know why they really interest me. Very quickly, Nibbler was a game I never even heard of it. I had no idea what Nibbler was. So it was this game. It was Snake before Snake was a game,
Hmm.
pretty much. But it was the first game to ever have 1 billion points
Okay.
that let you get to 1 billion.
Oh.
And
Oh.
ugh, yeah. And so there was the guy I can't remember his name, but there was the guy who was like the Pac-Man world champion,
Hmm.
and like he was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and go for 1 billion points in
Yeah.
this game. And the the documentary is not even about him. It's this guy Tim McVeigh, not the not yeah, not the terrorist, which they even point they yeah yeah
I wish it were.
the long and twisted tale of Nibbler and
Parentheses.
the OK City bomber. No, so yeah, it's about this guy, and he was just a kid in this town in Iowa, and
Mhm.
he was watching this guy play Nibbler, and he was like, "What's this guy doing? Why is everyone watching him?" Because competitive gaming wasn't even a thing,
No, yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, he's trying to get like the all-time high score, blah blah blah." And him not even knowing this guy or what the game was, he was just like, "Doesn't matter. As soon as he's done, I'm gonna beat his score anyway." And the guy gets to like 800 million or something, and then he quits. And this kid immediately just starts playing it, and he had never played the game before, and he was determined at that point. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna get 1 billion points. I don't want to give anything away, but it's a journey for the guy, and
Look,
it's cool.
you can give it away. Spoiler,
I'm not
spoiler,
gonna
guys.
spoil
No,
it.
come on, spoil it.
It's on Netflix. Go watch it.
Ah,
Go watch it.
is it good though?
Yeah,
Is it worth it?
yeah, it was
It's not
really
gonna break
cool.
my heart, is it?
It, it
Ah,
could.
I gave you Raiders, man. That had a happy ending.
This could have a happy ending. It could not.
All right, well I'll check it out because I did see it and it did look interesting. So
Yeah,
I'll definitely I'll probably watch that
yeah.
tonight.
So yeah, I think that that about wraps it up.
Yeah, that's about it for this week. So that's episode 10, guys, in the can.
We did it.
Yeah,
We did it.
we did it. I'm excited. We're gonna be back next week with
I'm done, dude. I
yeah.
signed up for 10 episodes of this shit. I'm not coming back.
Oh yeah. Well, you'll be back. Sorry.
Damn it.
Extended contract for
Uh,
this secret
yeah.
podcast.
So yeah, what are we doing next week?
Next week we're gonna continue on with the November Man himself, Pierce Brosnan,
Hey,
with Mrs. Doubtfire.
yes. Yeah, I'm excited for it, and
Yeah.
so should you be. Uh,
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to all of our listeners,
Oh,
all
all
of
of
them.
them. Hey guys,
Hey,
I forgot they were here.
yeah.
Are you still with us? Well, if you are, then let us know how you checked us out. Let us know how you found us. It'd be great to know. Share with a friend. Share with us. Share
Yeah.
a comment. Write a review. Just push a like button.
Can you write a review to anything we're on? We're,
Yeah. You can just, you can write a comment or something,
yeah.
and
So
maybe not a real review, but you can comment and say
you guys fucking suck.
you blow or whatever.
Yeah. So we're on SoundCloud.
We're on
Two
Sound.
guys with four eyes.
Yep. Everything's Two Guys with Four Eyes. SoundCloud.
iTunes.
iTunes. Well, iTunes. Yeah, just search on iTunes. Yeah, search on iTunes. Search on YouTube. We're on
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, Instagram.
No Twitter because we're
I don't even know how to use. Do
yeah.
you even have a personal Twitter
No,
account?
I don't. I feel like we should though. Everyone communicates through Twitter.
I don't know how to though.
Guys, if we should have a Twitter, let us know on some other form of social media. Our classic sign off that we always do every episode.
That's right, guys. Shake it easy.
You want to start Shake It Easy?
I'm starting Shake
Oh,
It
God damn
Easy.
it.
We're gonna shake it easy every week.
I shake it. I'm gonna go Shake It Easy in the bathroom right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're done.
All right. Bye, guys.